Are you looking for the best Champion dual-fuel generators? In this video we will look at some of the 4 best generators on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Champion 8000 watt dual-fuel generator, 100297. Now we finally have come to it. If you are truly serious about creating a ton of backup power, then you'll really want to check out this unit. While running on gasoline, this generator can churn out 8000 watts of electricity, and still last a good long time. Even on propane, this unit will still give you a ton of electrical power, making it an ideal backup for home essentials or a workplace. As you'd expect, there is a drawback to all of this power creation, and it is yet again the noise level. But rather than focusing on the fact that this generator is, like most conventional generators, a bit noisy, you should instead be impressed by the fact that it isn't even louder. Even though this generator is creating a ton of electrical power, it isn't any louder than smaller, less powerful models. Being that this is one of the larger models out there, you shouldn't be surprised to find out that it has a ton of outlets. Altogether, it has 6 different outlets, making it quick and easy to keep all of your essentials up and running. It is also EPA certified and CARB compliant, which is great for the environment. High power output. Long run time. Lots of outlets. Works well for all electric applications. Runs better on gas. At number 2. Champion Power Equipment Portable Generator with Electric Start. Another consideration when buying a generator is the impact that it will have on the environment. As generators continue to become more and more efficient in their fuel consumption, they also need to make sure that their emissions are not having too much of an impact on our planet. Such is the case with this model, which is the only CARB-compliant model offered by Champion. Being a conventional generator, this model is, unsurprisingly, a little on the loud side. It does, however, come with the added benefit of providing almost as much power as our pick for the most powerful generator. This makes it a great choice for someone who wants to be able to power their essentials in an emergency while also keeping our air clean. As with most other conventional generators, this model runs better on gasoline. While propane is usually thought of as more efficient when compared to gas, it is not always the case. This is actually a pretty big benefit for this unit, since gas is usually cheaper than propane, more readily available, and easier to store. Plus, when you use gas with this unit, you get more power out of it for a longer amount of time. CARB compliant. Long run time. High power output. Lots of outlets. At number 3. Champion 3500 watt dual fuel RV ready portable generator. Looking at this conventional generator, you can immediately tell the difference between it and an inverter generator. First of all, it puts out a lot more power, regardless of which fuel type you decide to employ. However, if you want to crank up the runtime and the power output, then you should stick to gasoline, which will give you nearly double the runtime and a third more power output than propane. Regardless of what type of fuel you pick, however, you'll still be getting a ton of power. Secondly, you can tell that this is a conventional generator because of its loud sound level. Instead of sounding like a car driving by on the highway, this generator is more akin to the sound of a large truck going past at about 40 miles per hour. This is still not a debilitating amount of noise, but it might be too much for camping. This generator would probably be better reserved for work sites to power tools or even as a backup for your home's essentials, such as your freezer and refrigerator. CARB compliant. Long run time. High power output. Lots of outlets. At number 4. Champion 3400 watt dual fuel inverter, 100263. If you are in the market for an inverter with a nice long run time, then this just might be the right product for you. Since it is an inverter, you get a huge runtime that is several hours longer than any other generators out there, while also being relatively quiet. By using propane instead of gasoline, you can double the runtime. Even when this model is running at full capacity, it still only puts out about 59 dBA, which is perfectly acceptable for a smaller sized generator. Of course, there is a drawback to the quiet, fuel-efficient runtime for this generator. While it can be used with either propane or gasoline, this unit puts out the smallest amount of power of any of the models we looked into. Even at its peak power output with gasoline, it still only can put out 3,400 watts of electricity, which is fine for smaller scale electronics. Since this is an inverter, the current for the power that it generates is nice and stable. This makes it the perfect choice for stably powering electronic devices, so that you don't need to worry about the suffering a power surge. Long run time. Lots of outlets. Quiet. Electric start. Good for electronics. At number 5. Champion 76533. Now, let's say you want to find a fuel-efficient generator that still produces plenty of power. If that sounds like you, then you might want to give this one a try. While the runtime is much shorter than more powerful models, it is also able to produce a lot more power. This makes it a good choice for any number of activities, such as camping or tailgating. This is a rather loud model. That is not to say, however, that the noise level is totally overpowering. Its 68 dBA equates to about as loud as a car driving past you on the highway, which, while quite noisy, is still easy to work around. Even when it is operating at full blast, you won't need to shout to be heard, but will rather have to talk a bit louder. It should also be noted that, while propane does increase the runtime for this model, it does not do so by a huge amount. Rather, it only gains a little bit of time, while losing around 500 watts of power. Lots of outlets. Long run time. Fuel efficient. Electric start.